Just tell me tonight what happened at the Travelodge.
This last night.
Yeah.
Well, on Thursday afternoon, the band came in. One of the members of the band went to the hotel, checked in. He was the only white member of the band. They gave him no problem. When Leo Nocentelli and two other members of the band showed up to check in, the person at the front desk refused to allow them into the lobby. We're not buzzing in. And then he refused to accept a credit card for their incidentals. I had paid for the rooms in advance, but generally the artists have to put down a credit card for the incidentals. And he demanded that they pay them $100 in cash each for them to check in. And when they questioned him about this, when the other members didn't have to do that, the person became very upset, used very obnoxious language. And the band called me. I went to the hotel, and the manager at that point said, "We don't take credit cards from those people." And I looked at him so stunned. I'm like, "What do you mean by those people?" And he looked over and he pointed at Leo and the other band members. He's like, "Those people." And I said, "What do you mean?" And he said, "Black people. We don't take credit cards from black people." And at that point, it was like someone hit me. I was so stunned that in my hometown in San Francisco in 2012, that there were words like this coming out of someone's mouth towards a member of our community. And on top of that, about a member of our community who's also a valued part of our cultural history. And it was just very upsetting to see this happen. It was so much so that it was hard for me to understand. And then I ended up calling the police. The police came and tried to negotiate with this person. The person refused and said, I have the right to refuse service to anyone I want. And at that point, my wife and I went and got other hotel rooms for the artists, and we went from there. It was possibly the most disturbing incident I've ever had in San Francisco. I don't think we see much overt racism in this town, and this was easily the most overt racist act I've ever seen.
Now was he the manager, or was he just Leo?
One of the interesting things about this story is that he would refuse to identify himself. And in my follow-up, every hotel is required to have a license posted with the name of the operator and the manager. They obviously had no information posted, and they've still refused to give me that information. They've been nothing but cooperative. I had prepaid for the room on my debit card, and he wouldn't even give me a receipt that night, and he wouldn't give me a refund. And I finally had the police intervene and told them to do so. So it's just been their response, the way they've handled Leo was just absolutely disgusting, and it's just sad that this happens. And I'm sure it happens every day. It probably happens all the time to people not named Leo Nocentelli, or not to a Hall of Fame rock and roll guitar player. And that is even more upsetting. Obviously, one of the main things that really disturbed me is that the police said they have been on calls to the same hotel for the same reason, for other people for the same issue. It's simply, our city should not allow this to happen. How does it happen? How is it allowed in San Francisco in 2012 that a hotel can make up separate rules for separate people? It's terrible.
And the police, what did the police do, or what did they try to do? Or?
The police did the best they could. There's no actual law that they can't give him a ticket for being a racist pig, but they couldn't have been any nicer. They said call the Human Rights Commission. The police actually stopped by the venue later on that night and said, "Did the band get taken care of?" And I said, "Yes, they did. I really appreciate it." I mean, I thought they were nothing but cooperative.
Now, what did Leo say?
Well, this is the interesting thing is, as Leo and Bill Dickens reminded me, they're older gentlemen who grew up in the South. They have faced these issues many times. I am a person who grew up in San Francisco who's white. I have not faced these issues as much. They were more concerned for me because I was so shaken up by the incident, and I was like almost embarrassed that they were like telling me it was okay, and they said they had faced this before. But these gentlemen are professionals. They're really wonderful people, and they said, "Jason, don't worry about it. We're gonna have a great show tonight," and they did. They played a sensational show last night.